Hey everyone, I'm Airwingmarine. Welcome back to the channel and my next Escape from Tarkov video. Today we're going to go through the Hideout and talk about what's most profitable to craft, some alternates, and then some other general strategies on what to do with the Hideout to get the most out of your time you spend in there. So without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it. Alright, so a couple of ground rules real quick first. One, make sure you double check this stuff. The markets are real volatile, especially as you go through the weekend. During the week, they kind of flatten out, but Saturday, Sunday, things can kind of get wild. That's why I want to give you a couple options. Two, if you're struggling with fuel and money, remember the lavatory will craft without power on. So you can craft things in the lavatory and make money without burning fuel. Three, make sure this is the latest video. I'm doing these every Friday now, so if you're watching one from a week ago, make sure you come check the latest one out. So with those set, let's jump right into the med station. So right now, Pile of Meds is your best craft. They're pushing 13.5. So just keep an eye on it. It kind of depends on what players do. But as long as you're getting your augmentin and not paying 25, 30K for it, and even there, it'll make money. But you make your best money at like 20, 21, 22, 23. And then sell your Pile of Meds for 13-ish. If you can get 13 or 13.5, great. We'll see what it does for the rest of the weekend. My normal threshold for Pile of Meds is 12.5. If I see them get over 12.5, that's when I sell them. If you can get your components a little bit cheaper sometimes, like if you come in here and look, people are selling for a little bit under Therapist, it will save you a little bit of money. It's not a ton, but because of how fast meds craft, it gets magnified in your savings per hour. So if you save 1,000 rubles on a craft that only takes half hour, that's the equivalent of 2,000 rubles per hour. So it doubles it, if you will. Now, if you have SJ6s on lock, which I do, you can make pretty good money with these. It has to be level 3. Pile of Meds is level 2, but SJ6s are level 3. You just have to make sure you get your components at the right prices. You want to get SJ1s for under 42,000, which isn't too hard to do. And your Pile of Meds for 11,000, which is going to be tough to do now. So if you see somebody throw up a stack of meds for like 10K right now, buy them up because you will use them up and that will make you a bunch of money in some of your other crafts in the Hideout. And then NaCl, sodium or saline solution. So if you can get this in the 31 range and lower, sometimes you'll see these pop into the 20s. Buy them up and you will make money with your SJ6s, which these you're shooting for about 60K a piece, which you see them here at the 56, 58, but they'll sell all the way down into here, especially tonight as everybody logs on and starts using them more. Now, if you use tons of SJ6s, it might actually make sense to keep them because it only costs about 48 to 50K to craft these things. So if you're keeping your SJ6s, it's a way cheaper way to get them than just turn around and sell them. And then one little trick in here I have to save a little bit of money. It's not so much to make money, but it's to save money, is the Propital craft. Now, if you run Golden Stars, and right now I think I have a Vaseline in here just because I had a non-founded raid. I'll use that up and I'll put Golden Stars back in there. But if you're using Golden Stars, get them down to like 1 or 2 uses. Don't use them up. And definitely don't take them out of your Gamma container unless you have, like one of my favorite things to do is when I kill a player and he's got like a 1 out of 10 Golden Star in his inventory that I can take, because that's worth like 7. It's basically worth 100K, even at 1 out of 10, because that's what it costs to do this craft anyways. So I'll take that Golden Star and I'll turn it into Propital, whether it's mine or somebody else's, the 1 or 2 out of 10s. And then you can sell these for 20, 21, sometimes 22,000, and it'll cover about, I don't know, 70, maybe 80K of the cost of the Golden Star, depending on what you sell your Propitals at. And basically it makes it so your Golden Star only costs 20 or 30K versus the 100K that it actually cost. You're recovering some of that cost with your Golden Star. So it's a good way to run Golden Stars and not break the bank. Hopping over to the nutrition unit, and this is going to be quick because right now nothing's making money in here. You can scratch out a little bit sometimes with like Willistons or the energy drinks if you can catch not the hot rods, but the actual max energy drinks. Where are they at? Right there. You can sometimes scratch out a little bit of money if you have like a Coke or a coffee that's not found in raid, or you don't count the cost of your water bottle because you drink it down to 1 out of 60, which you can do. Then you can maybe make money with them, but right now, there's not much in here worthwhile. And normally what I would do is I would recommend to craft something to level your hideout skills, but because that's bugged, I can't do that either. So I'm not really making anything in here. The exception to this is if you get non-found in raid chocolate, right? You find a chocolate in raid, you throw it in your secure container, you die. That is one way you can craft in here. And for that, either craft sugar or craft Slickers bars. You'll make a little bit of money doing that versus trying to sell the chocolate to the vendor. Over at the booze and water collector, the water collector is still making money. I see a lot of people comment about this and they're worried because of how expensive filters are getting. But remember that with no skills, the filter is only used, it only takes 0.65 filters. So it's got 100 uses, right? So it'll use 65 of 100 to generate a water, full water. So you're not using the full cost. You're using 65%. And that's with no skills taken into account. So if you look at your skills right here, you go down to Hideout Management, and this here, decrease of fuel, air, and water filters consumption rate by 18%. So now you're 18% less of 65%. So I'm not even going to try to do the math. It's like 50 something. You're only using like half, a little bit more than half of a filter to make each water. So this, just kind of the way the economy works, this always makes money. Always. I don't know of any point where this stops making money, because this directly drives the cost of purified water for the most part. Obviously demand does too, but this should always be running. Now, I did a video a while ago about how you get the error when you throw a filter in and it resets your skills. That is partially true. It's not fully fleshed out. What happens is anytime you reconnect to the server, it resets your skills, and not all of them. I've seen a lot of explanations for it. I'm not totally sure, but if you have a water maker, you should be making purified water, period, even if you're just selling it. Now, you could be like me and doing the booze generator. I just take my purified water. Now, I was selling it, but I'm kind of getting lazy. I take my purified water, I buy my sugar, I generate booze, and then I hold on to it. I hold on to it because right now the cost of making booze is, it depends on what your purified water and your sugar at, but it's like 210 to 230K to make your moonshine. So I make all the moonshine and I wait till I have like 20 of them, and assuming that moonshine's going to get to like 250 or 260, and then I'll sell it then and make my money back. But one other thing, and I got my Kappa now, so I don't have to, but the moonshine is fantastic for getting streamer items. So what I was doing for a while was just making moonshine and throwing it right into the Scav Case. So we'll go look at the Scav Case and talk about that real quick. So the Scav Case is useful for more than just making money. The biggest thing for me is using the moonshine to get streamer items. Now, I got 4, I think it was either 4 or 5, I don't remember exactly, of my streamer items out of the Fierce Hatchling moonshine. So I didn't have to go into raid to find those. They were just, boom, there they are. I have them. Throw them in one of my containers, and I just waited till I was ready to do the collector task. But you can also get some pretty high tier loot out of this. My last run, I got a green and a red gunpowder. I got an M1A, and then I got one of the shoreline keys, like 313 or something, you just sell for like 60K. So it more than paid for itself. I've gotten, in the last week, I've gotten 2 hex grids, stuff like that you're going to get out of the moonshine. But you will also get them out of the intel. Intel's focus, instead of streamer items, though, is keys. You will get lots of keys out of the intel, which is super good right now, this stage of the white, because many of these keys, especially reserve keys, are worth 1 million or 2 million rubles. So if you land one of those and sell it, it's going to pay for like 6 runs, 7 runs, and then all those other runs that make money there, just do it. It's a total gamble, it's total RNG, but that's what I tell people. Moonshine for streamer items, intel for keys, and then you can run your 85K and stuff. One of the guys in the Discord posted a picture today, actually, of getting a money case out of an 85K. Last time I checked, those things were selling for over 1 million rubles, and he got that out of an 85K run. So always run this. Even if you're just running the cheap one, keep this thing constantly churning, because it's basically free money. Now, over at the Intel Center, you have a bunch of options here. Almost everything is making money in the Intel Center right now. But your top crafts are VPXs and graphics cards. Now, I'm making graphics cards right now because I had a bunch of VPXs non-found in raid. But VPXs are your biggest moneymaker. I don't want to get into the prices too much of the specific components. Phones and SSD drives don't change all that much. RAM is going to get really expensive because VPXs are getting real expensive. I think these things are selling for like 310, 320 now. So you're going to see RAM push the 40, 45K range. So if you can find RAM cheap, or if you are in raid and you find it, definitely put it in your secure container, because it's worth so much money. And then you can use that to craft VPXs. That's, for me, when I put stuff in my secure container, it's almost always stuff I can use in the hideout, because even though it might only be worth 2,000 or 3,000 rubles to the vendor, it's worth 40,000 in the hideout, because that's what it would cost to buy that component to craft with it. Now, if the prices swing too much, if you see VPXs tank or you see graphics cards go through the roof, which I think they're already over $1 million, yep. If you see these things push like $1.2 million or VPXs get down into the 250,000 range, then switch to graphics cards. But you're not going to go wrong either way. You're going to make a bunch of money doing both of these. But like I was saying, everything in here is making money right now except for these two, the Violet Key Card and the CFDMs. And it's just a matter of how much. So if you have non-found and raid components that you're looking to turn into something, this is a great place to do it. Now for the Bitcoin, I just did a video on this, talking about this. I'll throw a little link up here above so you can go look at that if you haven't already. But the short story is you should be upgrading and filling this thing as fast as possible. The amount of money it generates is insane. It's honestly, you could even call it game breaking. It will make it to where you don't care about gear anymore. You will be able to run the best gear in the game and not even sweat it. So you can take that, or if you want to see my explanation and some of the math and my reasoning behind this, please go check out the video. Now over at the Lavatory, which is probably one of the best modules for low-level players because one, it doesn't require fuel, and two, the crafts available at level 1 make you money. And right now, the most profitable crafts are at level 1. You can make either Cordura with these bags, which you can buy these bags off of Ragman. I think they're 2,000 a piece, give or take. 2046. So you're talking about 8,200 rubles to make a Cordura that you can sell for 18, 19,000. So that's a fantastic craft right there. And it doesn't take very long. Now, if for some reason Cordura crashes, you're not making money there, you can also make money with Scav backpacks. And I just have some non-found and raid fleece, so I'm burning it up making Scav backpacks. The key here is to get your fleece kind of below 9,000, which isn't too hard. Right now it's super cheap. I might actually go buy a bunch of that up. But you get that for below 8,000. Try to get this below 11,000 ripstop. So this is where you can kind of game the system, right? If fleece is getting down into 6,000, you can afford to pay 14, 15,000 for ripstop and then sell your Scav backpacks for at least 15.5. Now you're going to see the prices come way, 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 way down. So like right now you see they're selling in the 14.5s, but there's honestly only about 10 backpacks between there and 15,000. Once these clear out, you'll see the price go all the way up. I mean, we'll get in here and we'll go look at some of these other guys, but you'll see some of these prices up here at 15.8. These things will sell eventually. They will. It just takes towards the end of the night. When people log off and stop listing Scav backpacks, people burn through these things constantly. A lot of people buy them and don't even insure them. But as long as you're selling your Scav backpacks for 15.5, this makes pretty good money. It competes with the Cordura. On my spreadsheet right now, Ox Bleach is the top craft. It makes the most money. It's available at level 2, but the problem with Ox Bleach is the components are pretty wily. So right now, soap's below 10,000, which is great, and alkali should be below 10,000 too, which it is, which gives you a lot more options with your sodium. But you'll see sodium occasionally get into like the 18K range, which it is right now. At the end of the day, you want to be making your bleach for about 31 or 32,000 in cost, so that when you sell these for 9,000, you're making the money you need to make, and you can make good money. Ox Bleach will get cheap. You're going to see it come down. Right now, it's selling at a halfway decent price with 8,000 or 9,000 rubles. If you can get 9,500, you're killing it. So what a lot of people do, and you can see this guy's doing it right here, he's got 15. Craft 15 or 20 of these and then list them on the flea market. Check your prices for what you're crafting and then just list the bleach. It will get up into that 9,000 and 9,500 range and sell. It just might take a while. Now, lastly, at night when you log off, I always tell everybody to craft Lucky Scav junk boxes. Simply because it crafts all night, it will help your crafting skill a little bit. It doesn't look like the percentage gain on crafting skills gets reset. It's just the bonuses. But also it makes you quite a bit of money, and it's great for raising your flea market rating because they're worth so much. A caveat to this, and it's a good caveat, not a bad caveat, is that if you have Shooterborn and Heaven done, you can make a fortune. This is actually the most valuable craft in the game right now if you have Shooterborn and Heaven done. I can come in here and I can buy a mag case for 289,000 for mechanic, just like that, which you can see is 120,000 cheaper than everybody else is paying, 130 depending on where you're at, which means I make 300 to 400K more off of my Lucky Scav junk box than everybody else. Especially with them selling over up 1.7. You know, I was selling them for 165 yesterday, so now that they're coming back up, there's another 100K I'm going to make. This turns into the most valuable craft in the Hideout if you have Shooterborn and Heaven done. So I implore you, if you want to make a bunch of money, go grind that out and get it done so you can do that. Buy one of these every reset and then craft them as soon as you can. Now, the Workbench, which is the most prolific station in the Hideout right now. I'm not going to go over all of them, just the ones that make the most money. as well as some alternates to rotate into if the prices dip, which they inevitably do for many reasons. Right now, the most profitable crafts are at the level 1 workbench. Making circuit boards, and it doesn't matter which one you do. It doesn't matter if you're using the DVD craft and the black screwdriver or the gas analyzer and the red screwdriver. Both of them are making good money. The DVD is a little bit better, but if you're getting your components cheap enough, you're going to make a killing making these things. And the reason is the circuit boards are used in a ton of barters, and several of the high-end crafts like graphics cards need them too. And several of the high-end crafts on the Intel Center need them as well. So this is driving up the price of circuit boards. Now, if circuit boards tank over the weekend because everybody's making them because of how much they're worth, you can rotate into gunpowders. Both the Hawk and Eagle gunpowder are doing fantastic right now, especially the Hawk. Hawk has taken off a little bit, and it's in the high 50s and even 60s. If you're getting your components cheap enough, you know, greens for 64, your matches for less than 10K, and blue gunpowders for that 16 to 18K range, you are going to make a bunch of money making these. Now, same thing with greens. Greens are fixed. You're not going to make quite as much money at them, but they're stable. They're easy. It's honestly one of my favorite crafts because I just buy the components from vendors. In order to do that, you have to have Spa Tour Part 2 completed. Then you can buy the M67 grenades from Peacekeeper. But once you have that, you can buy all the components every cycle and craft green gunpowder till you turn blue in the face. And it's super easy. There's no thinking. You just craft. You wait till you get a bunch of them and you sell them at that, you know, high 60s. You want to sell them for 65, 66, 60, 80, maybe even 70 if you get lucky. That's what you want to do it. And generally what I see happens as reds get more profitable, greens go up with them, because what happens is everybody's buying green gunpowder to make red gunpowder. So it's a great thing to rotate into. If you see the price of red gunpowder starting to come down, green usually goes the other direction for a little while, and then it kind of chases red. Whatever red is doing, it's 12 hours or so behind it, give or take. Also, one thing, if you see reds tank, buy them up. If you're seeing red gunpowders in that 50 to 52 range because they tanked, buy those up and then use those red gunpowders to make like rip ammo or any of the other kind of, M61. You can make decent money if you get the red ammo cheap. And that's what you do. If you make red ammo, you sell it for a high price, and then if it tanks, you buy the red ammo that's cheap and you turn that into bullets. You save those bullets till the bullets get expensive and basically do what the opposite of the rest of the market is doing. One of the other real stable crafts in here that is good is the VOG 25s. You will make a bunch of money with those. You just have to make sure you get components at the right price. I say this over and over and over again. Get your components at the right price, but it's super important. What you need to do is just watch fuses. And the best thing I can tell you to do is come in here, and I still haven't done it myself all the way yet, but come in here into the your wish list and put fuses and grenades in here, so you can just click back and forth between them real quick on your wish list, and set a price in your head for fuses and a price in your head for grenades. And if you see any below that price, snag them up. You can throw fuses in Lucky Scav junk boxes. You have to put grenades in a grenade case, unfortunately, but you can put the grenades in a grenade case and wait till you get, your 5 and 5, or buy them up till you get 10 and 10, and then craft VOGs, and then wait for VOGs to get expensive. They usually get expensive towards the end of the night when nobody's crafting them and listing them anymore, but most of the time you can sell them at wherever they're at. They do pretty good. Now, personally for me, when I'm buying components, I focus on red gunpowder, green gunpowder, and printed circuit boards. But I'll always grab up cheap components for VOGs and wires for rip ammo, and sometimes anything else that I stumble across. If you can catch an OFZ shell off a fence, you make a killing making RGDs or turning that in M995. So it's just a matter of being patient, buying your components properly, and then listing your stuff high enough to where you make the money you want to make off of it. But I think that's all I have for this week, guys. Well, that wraps up the video. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button because it helps out the channel a bunch. And subscribe for future content. We also have a Discord, links down in the description, that you can come join. We're filling up with a bunch of chill people who just love to play Tarkov. If you're looking to support the channel in other ways, we've launched a Patreon with some benefits like access to a Discord channel, constantly updated spreadsheet for my Hideout calculations, and some other things if you want to go check it out over there. Lastly, thanks for your support on YouTube. It means the world to me, and I greatly appreciate every one of you. So with that, we'll wrap it up, and we'll see you in Tarkov.